I know this channel has centered around Arma the last few years, but to tell you the truth, I've been an avid Battlefield fan since it launched in 2002. Battlefield 1942 was a crazy ambitious game for its time that hooked me and my friends, and I watched as the franchise exploded in popularity with Battlefield 2. But in my opinion, Battlefield 3 and 4 were peak Battlefield. It's for this reason that I'm excited, well, maybe not excited, but cautiously optimistic for the upcoming Battlefield entry, but only if DICE has learned from its lessons from 2042. I have a couple things I feel if DICE can nail it, will usher in a new era in Battlefield dominance of the FPS space going forward. I'll start off with what is probably a hot take for many people, but I feel we need a gritty, grounded campaign. The campaign provides us with a give a shit factor, and it gives us a why behind what we're doing. That is so very important in my opinion. What are the stakes? What does it matter that I'm shooting these fucking people and blowing up these tanks and these buildings? Story matters so much more than I feel like FPS developers realize. And while there's definitely a vocal minority that don't care and don't want the devs to, quote, waste time and resources on a campaign and focus only on the multiplayer, well, let's just see how that turned out for Battlefield 2042, shall we?
Oh my goodness!
Battlefield 3's campaign was gritty, down to earth, and realistic, and it made you care about what you were doing in the game. Even in multiplayer, you at least had that context. 2042 lacked substance and backstory, and yeah, there were some in-game loading screens, and eventually there was some backstory online. That doesn't substitute for proper world building. My entire point of this video is that if DICE can satisfy the player base of Battlefield 3, 4, and Battlefield 1, which were the most successful Battlefields ever launched by total sales, they will absolutely dominate the FPS space. The core audience that can absolutely skyrocket this franchise to the moon has been largely neglected and chastised following disaster after disaster. But we're still here, and we're hungry for the visceral intensity and chaos that Battlefield was known for at its peak. We need visceral gunfire and destruction of Battlefield 3 and 4. I don't know about you guys, but seeing the side of a building get deleted and the camping fuck behind it get obliterated, it makes me happy on a level I can't really explain. 2042 had way too few buildings that could be destroyed, and that destruction felt so plastic and lifeless. Levolution in Battlefield 4 was pretty cool, but I don't know if the juice was worth the squeeze on that one. Me personally, I love a full built map that can just be picked apart piece by piece, like you could do on Strike and Karkin, for example, and on most of the maps in Battlefield 4. Also, we need to bring back detailed maps. All of the maps that came with Close Quarters DLC in Battlefield 3 come to mind instantly. Those maps were incredible for infantry combat and light vehicle use. Maps with a ton of destructible shit just laying around makes for the most fun, chaotic, and cinematic gameplay. And while I understand it's very hard and time-consuming to develop maps like this, just give it time to cook. Release the game when you're ready, and don't rush this, because this is your chance, DICE. Finally, give us the standard classes we've known and loved forever. No more of this hero shooter cringe bullshit. Leave that childish shit in Fortnite and let the adults have a place they can come and rampage with people that don't want Santa Claus and Nicki Minaj skins running around. The Marines that they used in Battlefield 3 were gritty and down to earth, and that level of realism when someone in the multiplayer game yells "fuck you" hits a little bit different than some cringy bullshit that they launched with 2042. So please, DICE, leave that in the past. Bring us back to reality. We're the adults that you're building this game for. Please don't fuck this up. Honestly, I think Battlefield 4 had the best combination of classes and customization. It was truly masterfully done. Granted, Battlefield 4 also had a bit of a rocky launch, but it pales in comparison to the embarrassment that was 2042 across the board. So in summary, I'm going to leave you with this. If the sales of these games tell you anything, it's that if you satisfy these core players right here, you'll have an absolute banger on your hands, DICE. You have the power to do this. You know what the player base is looking for from you. This series cannot afford another 2042 cringe fest. Bring us back so we can say that we're fucking back.